I think I'm streaming right now. Maybe. Oh, I see an ad. I want to, before I do anything, this ad's happening. So I think we're live. I think we're live. And no one is watching, which is fine. We're going to hang out here for just like a minute or two until we get maybe a couple people watching, and we'll see how that goes. So do 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 do. All right. Okay. So welcome. This is my first stream. I have never streamed before. It's I'm probably talking to the void right now, and that's fine. Uh, I am Shono. Again, this is my first time streaming, so you guys probably have never heard of me. And those of you guys who are watching me, it's probably because your friends or family. All right, so I'm kind of like, since this is my first stream, I'm a little nervous, so I'm ranting a little bit. Um, but okay, so let me tell you what we're doing today. Uh, every month, my patrons, we do uh, basically a raffle for the silver tier patrons. Uh, they all get to suggest a character, and I randomly select one of their suggestions, and I draw that character. This month, the character that was chosen was Goblin Slayer from the anime and manga Goblin Slayer. So that's what we're going to be drawing today. The I didn't want to bore you guys with me trying to figure out a pose for this. Sometimes I go through 3 or 4 poses before I even start. Um, Before I even get into the details of the character. So I wanted to save you guys that terrible process. So I pre-sketched a pose for it, and here we go. So so if you're not familiar, Goblin Slayer is well, a Goblin Slayer. All right, so here we are. Now I'm going to be working from a reference here. So let me pull that over here. So this is Goblin Slayer. This is the reference I'm going to be working from to get all the details. I'm going to have this over on my other screen, so you won't be seeing it as I draw. It gets in the way anyway. So I'm going to move this back over. And I've talked enough. Let's get to the actual drawing here. So while I draw, I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat. So if you have any questions about my process, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, feel free to ask me. Again, I'll answer if I can, if I see it. You know, I have a whopping 2 viewers, so I'm sure I'll be able to keep track of you guys here. All right, so let's get started. One thing I like about the Goblin Slayer design is I like his little fur collar here. Kind of adds like a cool neck design. But usually with like armored characters, it's usually some like neck plating, which looks cool in its own right. But I think the fur here is an interesting interpretation of that. So the armor's kind of. Let's see. So his armor seems to follow the some basic muscle contour here. Let's see. So admittedly, I have not watched Goblin Slayer, so I'm not super familiar with this character and his design. So a lot of what I do today is going to be kind of flying by the seat of my pants, trying to figure out how the character is shaped while I sketch. So that usually means a lot of erasing. So I apologize for that in advance. I mean, not really, but here we go. So this armor kind of comes around, kind of implying abs, even though it's just steel plates here. All right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'll probably add some scratches and other details in it in a little bit, but first let's make sure we get all the major details before we start worrying about rendering it. It's got like a belt over here. Let's see. Belt kind of over here. Looks like he has some kind of Under Armour over here. Man, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get this shape with how I've posed him. Here we go. Looks like it comes out like this. Looks like that Under Armour kind of comes up underneath that second, right underneath that chest there. Up, so it looks like he has a strap that comes around here. And I think his shoulder armor kind of comes up over here. Now, I know I'm kind of talking to myself as well as you guys. How am I sounding? Can you hear me okay? Or do I just sound like a mumbling mess? Because I can change the volume a little bit of me if that's a problem. All right. He has these kind of little daggers that sit on his belt. Actually, it's kind of like a cross belt happening here. So it crosses here. Let's see. So this is the center line. So we need to make sure the belts cross right at his center line here. Comes up and over. So this way. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this silence is driving me nuts. I usually draw with usually some kind of video playing, usually like some kind of comedy video or science video or something like that, or maybe like some kind of debate going on. But due to copyright things, I can't necessarily just play music or someone else's video in the background. Maybe I could, but I'm not going to risk it. So what I'm going to do here is play some music that's in the public domain, or at least at the very least, it's Creative Commons. It's a artist known as Norn Rad, which is a great comic book reference. But he does chiptune death metal, so I'm gonna kind of play that on my background. The microphone's probably going to pick it up, and so if this music's too loud and it's distracting or getting some kind of feedback, let me know, and we'll go from there. Hey. Hey, Seth and Sideways is there. And just the Syndrome Joy. Listen to Little Peep. I'm gonna say I don't because I'm not sure what that is. I've not heard of Little Peep before. Alright, let's get my reference back up. Alright. Let's get this belt drawn here. I do have to say, even though I've not watched the anime Goblin Slayer, I love this design. But I'm always a sucker for armor and robots. So if I get to draw armor or robots, I'm a happy guy. Let's get this detail better. This here. So it's always tough to draw other people's designs when you've not had any time to practice them. It's very trying to figure out these shapes and the dimensions, staying accurate to them without necessarily, while still putting your own little spin on them. Usually when you do this in a comic book, if you're drawing someone else's character, you get a little bit of time to do some studies, some practice sketches before you have to actually draw the book. Not a lot of time, mind you. It's not like they give you months to practice, but you usually have like a week or so while you wait for the script. Maybe. It does depend on the publisher, now that I'm thinking about it more. There's some publishers that sent me asked me if I was available, sent me the script an hour later and said they needed it in 2 weeks, so so you don't always get that practice. But the good projects you get to that practice. So this is looking so far. Not bad. It's coming along. Pouches. Now my goal today is to stream for a couple hours. I'm not quite sure how much of this drawing I'm going to get done in that time, but ideally it's going to get completely sketched out, all the details kind of drawn. And I want to at least begin the inks, if not finish the inks by the end. I think for this piece, since it originates as a manga, I think I'm going to finish this off with some gray tones like you would see in a manga. And I almost certainly won't have time for that in just a couple hours, but hey, maybe I'll surprise myself. So I'm sure you guys have probably noticed my process here. I like to start at a certain location and kind of move my way down, working on one detail after another as I move down the body here. Might go back once in a while. You're right. I am drawing pouches. Liefeld would be proud. I am fighting the urge to Liefeld it up. Put my own little twist on here. Just give them all the pouches. All right. In the future, if I can figure out how to output music, I'll probably, instead of you guys hearing this thing through my speakers and back through the mic, I'll actually just put the music on directly. Of course, I know that is always have to make sure it's not copyrighted music, because that is not good. But it's much better than having just watching me draw dead silence. All right, how are we doing here? So what do you guys think so far? Am I getting in the ballpark? Is this looking like Goblin Slayer's armor? We got a 7 people watching right now. That's way more than I expected. I thought there'd be a total of 3. But, all right, so move this back over. All right, let's get back. You know what? For people who just joined us, I'm drawing Goblin Slayer from the anime of the same name. Let's get his helmet drawn in here. Let's get him looking a little more recognizable. So let's see here. Oh man, this helmet. How do I want to tackle this helmet? Alright, so it looks like there's 2 pieces here. Yeah, Mana Cutter, we need an official Shono soundtrack. Let's see. Alright. So it kind of comes out. Down. It's got a chin that sticks out here. You know what? If I'm going to draw this head, I think I need another reference. It's just not working for me. Goblin Slayer. Let's see. This looks like someone's 3D model of it, but I think this will give me better reference what I'm looking for here. Just so you guys can see what I'm looking at. So, pulled up this reference here. Like I said, it looks like it's someone's 3D model they created. but it'll serve my purposes well for this drawing. All right, so let's get this going here. Again, one of the issues with drawing a character I've never drawn before is I gotta figure this stuff out on the fly. Maybe I should have picked a better character for my first live stream. Oh well, here we are. Let's see. Let's see. Get there. All right. Let's do a little bit more. Thanks, Eric. Drawing as fast as I can. I did not think when I started drawing this that this helmet would be so tricky. have any cons you're going to this year? Yep, I'm confirmed to go to Animazement Memorial Day weekend in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I am also confirmed to go to Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina in June. I think it's on Father's Day weekend. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the exact dates. But those are the two that I'm confirmed for. I'm kind of waiting to hear back from. Oh, and always Yamacon. We always go to Yamacon every year. That's in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, in December. And basically, I'm waiting to hear back from Anime Weekend and Dragon Con. So we'll see if we get into those. All right. So this helmet is looking like a hot mess right now. So I think its biggest problem is it's too big right now. So let's fix that. I mean, he does have a relatively large helmet to his general body size, but I think that looks good. Right. At least better. Let's see if I can get this part looking good. Oh no, we'll be at Yamacon, barring some kind of crazy, extraordinary circumstances. I might have to leave this helmet for a minute. I feel like I'm going in circles here, trying to figure out how this helmet design works. I feel like it should be easier. Usually manga and comic book characters have a fairly simple design so that the manga artist or comic artist can draw them over and over and over again fairly easily, but man, I feel like this helmet is just impossible. That looks awful. You know what? Let's just... Maybe it's because the grates in this helmet? Better. That's better. We're going to come back to that. Let's get some more details drawn up here. So let's get his shoulders done. So I was saying earlier, my goal for this stream is to get the whole thing drawn and hopefully even the inks. But if I can't get this helmet right, we might just watch a 2-hour stream of me just trying to draw a helmet correctly. We'll see. See how it goes. I might have to spend a few minutes looking up some more references for his helmet. Or I might have to just take the easy way out and just put it in deep shadow. When in doubt, just black it out. What I find interesting about the Goblin Slayer character is that he's obviously a very strong and powerful character, but he's not drawn very muscular. I would kind of expect him to be maybe a little more thicker in the arms and torso, maybe broader shoulders. But the artist made him fairly skinny. Pretty cool armor, but the body itself is skinny, which is not often what you see with like fighter or knight types. Usually they're kind of bulky, powerful in terms of muscles. But here we are. So it goes in here. Get his forearm done. Let's see, some plating work there. Looks like it's just some overlapping plates here. So how many are there? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, straps kind of crisscross like this. There we go. It's making me feel better. You know, it's funny. Uh, Unknown Scion. Uh, you say how like they do the Master Chief trope and don't show Goblin Slayer's face. Uh, that helmet, which is why we've moved on. I'm gonna come back to that in a little bit, but for right now, I hate this helmet. Wish he took it off every now and again. Network error. Uh oh. Error 2000. I don't know what that is. I don't know if you guys can hear me. If I'm still streaming. It says still live, but there's a network error. So I am going to stop this real quick and hopefully be back in just a sec. All right.